Hey guys, what's going on? Your chief visionary, Natasha Davis here. How are you? How are you? It's showtime at the Apollo. Yes, it is. What's going on, guys? Your chief visionary, Natasha Davis here. We are inside the business lab for the Real Biz Life show. Come on in and hang out with us. You know, we are here every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we get to hang out here and we get to dissect the good, the bad, and the strategy around business. Yes, around business. And I love it. I love coming into the lab. I love being able to transfer this knowledge over to you in our little time together so that I can lift the lid off your thinking, so you can explore greater possibilities that you can look at for growth and for improvement, right? And my area of expertise is in stabilizing and scaling companies, and I absolutely love doing it through the power of strategic planning. A lot of people don't like to play with strategy. I love strategy. I absolutely love it. I love to normalize and simplify all the elements around strategic planning, which includes risk management, change management, implementation, all that good stuff, right? So what's good? What's going on? Hang out with me. Pop in the chat room. Let me tell you what, if you drop a message in the chat room, I just might chat back to you. Let me know that you can hear me, that you can obviously see me, and just show me some love here in the chat room. I know that you can be anywhere, but you are hanging out with me here in the lab. So much love, one love to you, definitely. All right, so listen. If you think that you need some branding and marketing tips and you're like, I wonder if I could get a little something from you, just go ahead to getbrandingandmarketingtips.com and you will get branding and marketing tips in your inbox so that you can glean from that good information, right? All right, so listen, today is an exciting day. I love talking about this particular topic because it ties in with strategy, strategic planning. It ties in with risk management and change management. It ties in with marketing, everything, right? And so this particular topic today, we are definitely going to have a good time. We're going to hang out here and we're going to talk about the things that are around every business. It doesn't matter if you are a startup. It doesn't matter if you're seasoned. It doesn't matter if you're a product business. It doesn't matter if you're a service-based business. It really does not matter. This topic today is definitely going to be relevant to you in all that you do, right? And so I want us to get ready to go inside the lab, but please do me a favor. Do not let your friends be tardy for this party. Go and tell somebody to come hang out with us here inside of the business lab. Don't be stingy with this information. There's enough of me to go around. Go ahead and share. You can share. You can tag them in this live right now. We are live in Facebook. We're live in LinkedIn, and we're live in YouTube. Hello, my family. Blessings upon blessings to you. Tag them. You can text them right now and let them know the Chief Visionary is live. Y'all come and get these hashtag golden nuggets because we're getting ready to drop it right now. All right, so let's get ready to go inside the lab. We're going to go in the lab, and I want you to have your pens, your papers. I want you to have your notes section open if you're a quick typer, right? Because I'm going to drop some tidbits of information on you, right? So let's take a little story. Let's take a journey, right? So imagine that you have decided that you want to surprise your client, your best client, or you want to surprise your team. If you have a team in the office, you want to surprise them with like some fresh baked gourmet pastries, right? Like the good stuff, not that sugary stuff, not that, that stuff you run into Publix or Walmart and get. No shade on Publix or Walmart. I'm just saying, don't come for me, right? But let's just imagine that you decide you want to bring these fresh baked pastries, like this gourmet stuff, and you're going to go and surprise your best client. You're going to surprise your team because they're so awesome and they're so amazing, and you go out and you buy the best of the best. I'm talking about premium spend. Okay, you get up, you put your best clothes on, you spray on your impact, okay, because you're going to make an impact today. You get your impact fragrance on, okay, you head out and you show up at the building. You're excited. You are like on fire because you have been thinking about doing this all night. You can't wait to see the expressions on their faces and the excitement as they bite into the fresh gourmet pastries they've never had that you spent all this money for. And you bust through the door and you're like, surprise, where is everybody? They're not there. They didn't know you were coming. You didn't mention anything about this day. You didn't tell them you were going to come through. Even if you were going to pop in, you didn't know anything. So therefore, no one would have told you that we're not going to be at the office today because we're out at an event. We're out at a large partners meeting. We're out. We're not in the office. So you're standing there with these premium priced baked pastries that are so yummy and delicious. I mean, the fragrance is killing you, right? And you're standing there all deflated, emotionally, like, what the heck? Okay. Or you might drop the HE double hockey sticks. Some people drop other words, right? Like, I done spent all this money. Somebody better eat this stuff. All right. So check it out. You show up. No one's there, but you didn't tell anybody you were coming. You didn't tell anybody you were coming. All right. Keep that in your mind. We are going to talk about how to develop strategic product and service launch plans. This is what we're talking about today. This is sometimes I have found in my years of business, I find that the number one issue and the number one reason why a product launch doesn't go well, a service launch doesn't go well, an event doesn't go well, maybe the launch of a business, a new business or a new department in the business, that doesn't go well. The reason for that is because there was a lack of preparation. Lack of preparation. You had people that just ran on with passion and excitement. There was no preparation. And over the 15 plus years I've been in business and being able to serve clients, that's a lot of times what I've heard and what I have also seen. You shoot from the hip, you take off running. There was no preparation. There was nothing in place. And there are a few critical elements and critical factors that were never even considered. You just ran with it, right? Those are the things we're going to unpack. We're going to dissect today because I want to make sure the next time that you are going to launch a product, you're going to launch a service, you're going to launch an event, or you're going to launch your business or a new business or whichever, that you are going to pay attention to these critical factors so you don't overlook them, you don't disrespect them, right? You don't not underutilize them as well. When a business does not count the cost of a launch, whether you're launching, again, it could be an event, it could be a product, it could be a service, it could be a business, right? It doesn't matter. When you do not count the cost and consider all of the critical factors that goes into launching it, it is coupled with emotional stress and financial stress, and it is insurmountable. It's ridiculous because you pour so much in emotionally, you pour so much in financially, and when you pour all of this in and you do not get a return on investment, it is painful. It is absolutely painful. So no matter what it is that you're launching, I want you to think of your launch in two distinctive buckets. I want you to think of your launch in two distinctive buckets. The two buckets I want you to look at is strategic decisions and tactical decisions. Strategic decisions and tactical decisions. When you are preparing for a launch of a product, a launch of a service, a launch of an event, a launch of a business, I need you to think in these two very distinct buckets. I want you to think in strategic decision buckets, tactical decision buckets. And I can tell you that a lot of times I have seen many businesses that when they suffered the unsuccessful launch, right? They suffered an unsuccessful launch. It's because they neglected one or both of these buckets. One or both of these buckets. Now, let me be so honest with you. If not every single business, if not every single business owner has had a few unsuccessful launches, at least one, but you've had a few. Why? Because you neglected either the strategic bucket or the tactical bucket, or both. You went off with passion and excitement. There was no preparation. You just ran with it. And so lack of preparation will literally kill a launch. It is guaranteed to kill a launch. It is guaranteed to kill a launch. All right. So let's talk about this. Let's really get into it. Again, I told you my excitement today is about this because a launch of a product or a service encompasses so many things. It encompasses strategic planning and implementation, marketing, risk management, contingency planning, change management. It encompasses every piece of the puzzle. But today I'm going to literally scratch the surface for you. I'm going to lift the lid on your thinking so that the next time you go into a launch of whatever it is you're going to launch, you're going to think about a few critical factors. And I want you to pay attention to the things that people typically overlook or underutilize altogether. So let me say this, right? Even though my client base is primarily professional service providers and professional consultants, right? That's my niche. That's where I specialize in when we talk about scaling and stabilizing companies. Over the past 15 plus years in business, I have been blessed to support product-based companies, right? So a fair amount of product-based companies when they were looking to launch and we needed to either stabilize or scale. So I am more than qualified and capable to speak to both the product and the service launch strategies. So even if I say product, I want you to think I'm talking about services, events, business. So I'll try to continue to reference all of them. But if I just say a product launch, I want you to think of all of the ones that I'm talking about, right? Because I have done this several times personally for myself, and also because I've helped other companies, my clients, to do this, to do a launch, I am going to drop some golden nuggets on you right now today, because let me tell you, these are some critical factors. I remember the very first launch that I did, my very first book when I did a launch. Some of you know this story. I'll tell you real quick. I remember when I did my very first book, when I launched my first book, I had a lot of there was a lot of tactical decisions that was implemented. There was not a lot of strategic decisions at all. There was a bunch of passion and excitement and rah and woohoo, and there was a lot of money. There was a lot of money. Okay, I was making it rain. I was making it rain. So I had a lot of tactical decisions, but I did not have a lot of, if any, strategic decisions. And the launch of my very first book was an epic fail. It was a very expensive epic fail. I did learn from that. Obviously, I was able to step back and say, whoa, I didn't like that. It was emotionally stressful. It was financially stressful. My God, it was even physically stressful. It was just ridiculous. And I started to peel the layers back and said, okay, hold on. How the heck did this even happen? Why didn't this launch go well? Why didn't we do well? When I tell you my first book launch, okay, your chief visionary had 3 potential buyers in the building. 3, 1, 2, 3. And I spent a lot of money on doing that launch. I remember it well. It still pains me. It pains me, right? So when I tell you I have done this, and each time I had to do a launch, whether I was launching a book or I launched a business or relaunched the business, or I was launching a product, because I do have products as well, or I was launching services. I learned from every single launch. You learn from every single launch. And the key thing you take away is that you never neglect the strategic and you never neglect the tactical. All right, so let's get into it. Again, I'm gonna scratch the surface. We're going to dissect some high level information for you here, because I want you to keep in mind that there's an entire process to a successful launch. There's a few moving parts. However, I'm going to talk about the things that most business owners overlook because they're super excited, they're super passionate, and sometimes just inexperienced with doing a launch, right? Can we say that? Can we just be honest with each other? Sometimes you can be inexperienced. You've never done a launch before and you're going to do a launch. You are going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes because there are some things you don't really know. The more you do a launch, and let me pause right there, okay? Don't be discouraged if you did a launch that did not go well the first time. You did not know, you did not understand everything that went into it. You probably didn't have all of the pieces of the puzzle, all of the resources, all of the people that you need. Maybe you didn't have all the capital that you need. You went off with passion and excitement. Maybe you solely depended on your inner circle and they weren't able to show up and support you as you thought that they would. So I say this to you, If you did a launch and it did not go according to plan, please do not retreat. Please do not don't throw in the towel. Do not quit. Absolutely don't be like, no, this doesn't work. Don't do that. You did not understand all the moving pieces of the puzzle. And let me tell you, I spent well over almost 10 grand on my first book launch. And I told you 3 people showed up, and I was thankful they did buy the book. They did buy it. And trust me, that did not help me to break even. I was like sick to my stomach, all that money that went out, because I was focused on the tactical. However, I didn't stop there. I learned from it. So if you had a product launch, a service launch, an event launch, a launch of anything, and it did not go according to your plan, do not be discouraged. Do not retreat and surrender. I want you to get up, get your life right, and get back in the ring and do another launch. But fix the mistakes, the things you did not do or you did not do well, you fix them on the next launch. All right. All right. So let's get into it. Like I said, so I mentioned 2 buckets to you, right? I mentioned 2 buckets to you. What are those 2 buckets? Strategic decisions and tactical decisions. Strategic decisions and tactical decisions. You got to put the 2 of them together. It is not uncommon for people to confuse tactics for strategy. They are not the same. One is internal work, one is external work, but you need both of them to be successful and to be profitable. Don't confuse them. They're not the same. And please don't let anyone trick you into thinking they're one and the same. They are not interchangeable. They are different. Strategic decisions, tactical decisions. Let's break it down. When you're doing a launch and you have your launch, you know what you're going to say. Okay, this is what we're working on. I literally want you to either physically on a piece of paper make 2 buckets, and you're going to dump things into it. Or I want you, if you're good at visualizing, well, even if you're good at visualizing, put it on a piece of paper, put it on your whiteboard, put it somewhere. I need you to get it out. Your strategic decisions are going to be things like the who, the what, the way, the who, the what, the how. That's what's going to happen. Who are we going to provide this product, service, event to? Who do we need in order to support this venture, right? Who do we need, right? What are we doing specifically? What are we specifically doing? Be careful that you don't have this big old gumbo pot. I remember I've told people many times in when I've seen things, I said, listen, when you are telling somebody about something, I know you're excited about all the things you're doing. Just be careful that you don't overstimulate and oversaturate somebody in a single communication. Don't send out some kind of correspondence that has 5 different things that you want people to pay attention to. Pick a thing. I don't care if you need to send 1 email every other day with a different thing that you're talking about. The attention span of people today, very short, very narrow, short and narrow. Okay. So you can't put 3, 4, 5 things on a correspondence and you want people to make a decision. They're like, I don't know what you want me to do with this information. So who do you need to help you with this initiative, with this launch? And I say who, I mean who. Do you need an editor for video? Do you need a social media writer? Do you need a content writer? Do you need someone to manage social media? Do you need staff? Who do you need? Who do you need? Who are you serving? Be specific about the client, about the target audience that you're trying to work with. Be very specific, because if you have like this generic, oh, we want to serve all women. No, you don't. No, you don't, because all women don't want what you have. Oh, we're here for all men. No, you're not, because all men do not want what you have. We're here for all business owners. No, you're not. All business owners do not want what you have. So I want you to be laser focused and very specific. We talked about target audience in the business lab before. Go and grab those golden nuggets from a previous episode and put all the pieces together. So that is your who, and the what. The what are you offering? What are you doing in specifics? The how. How are you going to get this information out? How are you going to achieve brand recognition? How are you going to achieve it emotionally? How are you going to achieve it visually? How are you going to achieve it auditorily? What is it that we're saying to the people? How are we going to say it? Be clear. A specific plan to achieve the goal or solve the problem is your strategic decisions. This is the internal work. I love to say, for every 1 minute that you spend in planning, you're saving 10 minutes in execution. For every 1 minute that you spend in planning, you are saving 10 minutes in execution. And we can convert that into money. For every $1 that you invest in planning, you are saving $10 in implementation or in execution. I want you to keep that in your heart, keep that in your mind, and be very careful. If you find yourself running off and you do not have a plan, you don't know what's happening, you don't know the who, the what, and the how, and you can't articulate that clearly, you need to pump the brakes, because you are living in tactics and you have no strategy. That will be very expensive and painful. All right. All right. Here we go. Tactical decisions, right? So tactical decisions, that bucket that you're hanging out in, these are going to be things like the where and the when. Where are we going to specifically show up? Okay. Where are we going to show up online only? Are we going to show up in person? Are we going to show up in a live somewhere? Are we going to show up in like a video? Is it going to be on which platform? How many of the platforms? Like, what are we doing? Right? When are we going to show up? Right? When are we going to show up? Are we going to show up in the month of X, in this week, in this time? When are we going to show up? In the summer, in the spring? When are we going to launch? Are we going to launch 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 4 weeks from now, on this specific day? When? You want to be clear, because the where and the when are the tactical, because those are the action steps that you are using to achieve the outcome, right? To get the results, right? That's your external work. Strategic, internal. Tactical is going to be external. Strategic, internal. Tactical, external. Strategic is the plan. Tactical are the actions. If you are taking action without any plan, I'm telling you, it's going to hurt you. Ouch. Ouch. It's going to hurt. So be careful with that. All right. So let me talk to you about some of the critical factors that I find many people overlook and they don't pay attention to. We're building this strategic launch plan, and I want you to remember these basic things. The first thing I want you to consider is, have you taken time to understand what the market actually needs? Do you know what the market needs? Or did you just create something because you think it's a good idea? I like it. They should like it too. No, it doesn't go like that, right? So when you doing some questions, surveys, focus groups, some Q&As, like, ask questions, get some market research going. Market research is going to tell you what the market wants. What do they need right now? What problem does the market have? And when you find out what problem the market has, then you can look to see, does my product or service solve the problem for the market? Does my product or service solve the problem for my market, right? You are getting in there, you're getting some market research done, you're asking the right questions, you're getting it done, right? So you start there. Don't assume that because you have a pain point that the market has a pain point. Don't assume that. I don't want you thinking that, well, hey, I had a problem with this, so everyone does. That might just be you. Don't go run off and develop an app, launch a product, create a whole service line, and you're like, nobody wants this, right? All right, so check this out. I remember when I was launching my software, right? Your chief visionary, several years ago, I had a problem. I was like, okay, I need to streamline how I'm prospecting. I need some more precision with my prospecting. I need to start identifying these prospects. Are they are they great? What's going on? I need to get some answers to this stuff, because I don't like building strategy off of guesstimation. I can't stand it, because I'm guessing my way through stuff. I don't like it. I need fact. I need research. I need qualitative data. I need quantitative data. I need to know that when we build a plan, I have evidence base to make this happen, right? Your chief visionary is like, I'm like a dog on a bone with that stuff, right? So I remember when I was launching my software, the Profit Enhancer Analysis, and I remember when I came up with the idea, I was like, oh, this is for me. And I said, at the time, my mentor was like, why haven't you rolled this out to the general population? How come other consultants can't get to use this? This is a problem. And I'm thinking, I done been down this road before launching something without getting information. So instead of me going in, head just jumping right in, I said, let me wait a minute and let me go ask some questions. Let me do some market research. And I asked the market before I started to develop this software. I asked well over 50 plus consultants in different industries, what's your biggest pain point in consulting? What is the thing that really either keeps you up at night or boils your blood? Like, what really just messes you up? What's your need? What do you need? So when I was getting the answers, and everyone kept saying consistently, man, I wish I could have had a window into this client before I accepted them. I wish I knew what their thinking was and their behavior patterns was before I accepted them. I wish I was able to quickly gather data so I didn't have to rely on what they told me. I could get like fact data, right? And I sat there and I said to myself, well, that sounds like the same problem I have, right? I wish my team would consult and do pre-consultations the same way. I don't like the flip-flopping. You do it this way, you do it that way. And then when I come, I got to redo it all over again. I was like, I don't like that. And so everyone kept echoing the same exact pain point. And so that is how the profit enhancer analysis was developed. I developed the software to meet the needs and the pains of consultants. And so that's how the software was launched, right? So that's to give you that piece of the puzzle. You need to do some market research before you run off. Even if it feels like a good idea and sounds like a good idea in your head, ask questions. Ask questions. All right. The next thing is, another critical factor that tends to be overlooked or underutilized here is developing the specific offering to the market need. We get so excited that we start developing things that we like and that we want because, again, I thought it was a good idea, right? So your key is you have to develop the offering specific to the market need. If the market told you that they want blue ribbons, then don't go and develop blue ribbons with stripes of red. They never told you that. They said, I want a blue ribbon. Just go give them a straight blue ribbon. Do not add pops of red and a splash of yellow somewhere because they go well. It looks good. No, don't do that, right? Give the market exactly what they need. This is also really, really great in your pre-launch phase. You understand that in a launch, there's a pre-launch phase. There is a pre-launch phase, of course, right? Then you got the pre-launch phase, and there's certain things that goes in that bucket. And then you have the launch phase, and then you have the post launch phase. Each of the phases, you have different things that you're doing in there. In the pre-launch phase, this is where you're getting you're doing research and development. You're doing your beta testing in this phase because you can roll something out and you can say, hey, to a small group of people, what y'all think? And they'll give you testimonials. They'll give you feedback. You can take that information now and you can use that in your marketing when you do the actual launch. Don't go from idea to launch in a week. Don't do that. You're going to feel it. I promise you, you're going to feel it, especially if you don't have these principles down pat. Yes. Are y'all catching these golden nuggets? Are you catching what I'm throwing? Right? Are you catching what I'm throwing? I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's give you some more. Let me give you some more. Y'all can see me salivating right now. Can you see me like salivating? I feel like I'm about to tear up a juicy steak. Right? Like what? I'm excited. I love this stuff. I hope this is super valuable to you because I'm telling you what, doing a launch can be so exciting, but it can also be really expensive and painful if you don't do it right. And I want you to get back in the ring. If you did a launch, it didn't go according to plan, grab these golden nuggets. I want you to get your plan together, get your life right, and then go back in the ring and do it again. If you don't do the launch again, you will never get better at it. You'll never perfect it, right? So you got to get back in the ring. You got to do it again. All right, here we go. Here's another great critical factor that people overlook. And I tell you, they do this in business. They do this a lot of places. You got to count the cost. You have got to count the cost. What is it going to cost me cost the company to launch this product, to launch this service into the marketplace? What is it going to cost? Don't jump in and then figure out what the cost is. Why can't you stop for 2 minutes and figure out, okay, I need this product, I need an editor. How much is my editor? I need a video. Okay, I'm going to have this person here. I need either, if you're doing an event, I have seen it way too many times. People roll out and do an event. They didn't count the cost. And then you realize, okay, the event, you finally got the event rolling after you've gotten no sleep for 2 months, and you are $5,000 in the hole because you never count the cost. Don't do that. Don't run out. And then you start figuring out, like, okay, this is how much it costs. No, 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 no. 2 minutes. Just sit down. 2 minutes. Let's figure some things out. Let me figure out how much this thing's going to cost me so that I can also do what? Develop the right pricing strategy, right? You pull numbers out the air. I'm gonna pull out a nice round number out the air when it costs you is not round. It's like an octagon or some kind of shape or something like that. All right, y'all stop playing. Let's get this stuff going so I can get you back to work. All right, so you want to count the cost, right? I want you to know, what is your desired return on investment? How do you know that you have hit the target? How do you know you've gotten there if you don't know what the desired return on investment is? What metrics? How are you going to measure this thing? How do you know it's working? How do you know it's not working, right? Don't go off of I feel like it's not working, so I'm going to change. I feel like I feel it in my bones that this is going to be good. What are we doing? This is not the time for this, right? We're not getting any younger, people. So I want you to outline basic metrics, basic key performance indicators. What are your KPIs that you're going to measure? These are not just sexy words that we throw out and acronyms we throw out. This is the real deal. So what are the KPIs you're monitoring? Why? Because KPIs will help you to verify what you're doing and validate what you're doing, right? Whereas we've done this in the lab before, KPQs, key performance questions, are going to help you to create and to improve. KPIs is going to help you to verify and validate. You got to have metrics. What are you measuring? Because whatever you measure is what you will improve. Right? Whatever you measure is what you're going to improve. If you don't measure it, you're not going to make any improvement because it's like whatever. What is your cash infusion to profits metrics? How are you going to measure that? What's your time to break even metrics, right? What are you meeting the quality and the delivery standards? What are we doing? Don't just shoot from the hip. Okay. All right, number four, here's another critical factor that's overlooked and underused when we are talking about a strategic product or service launch plan. Consistent market education. I might as well drop the mic and just exit stage left at this point, right? Let me just go on and leave because what are we doing, right? You have to consistently educate your market about what is coming, what is happening, what has launched, what happened after the launch, what we're doing next, what we're doing now. You have to constantly educate the market. Why? In the world that we live in today, each of us, we're exposed to over 5,000 marketing and advertising elements that every time we turn around, something is grabbing at you, right? And so if you show up one day on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your LinkedIn, on your YouTube, in your Twitter, X, okay? You show up one time. You show up one time because you're excited, you're passionate, like I got a good thing. And you show up one time, gave it all you got, and you don't come back for another 2 weeks. What do you want me to do with this information? Because I have been stimulated by over 4,999 other ads, marketing messages, SMS. I've been stimulated already. So you so far down the line, I don't even remember what you're doing. You have got to maintain consistent education, marketing, and you need to be unashamed about it. You better shout it from the mountaintops. Let people know you're here because they don't remember. You one out of 4,999 other stimuli that I've been exposed to, right? I'm only going to recall the top 4 that actually stayed in my brain and that means something to me, that resonate with me where I am now, right? I remember years ago, I was doing some, of course, doing my marketing. I'm showing up, I'm out there. I did a talk, I did a webinar. The webinar information, delivered it, everything went well. And one of the attendees showed up literally 14 and a half months later. And the person said to me, "Thank you so much for staying in touch." And I'm thinking, I don't even remember you. It's been 14 and a half months. What? Oh, remember that webinar you did? Which one? I did a few, right? Which one? And they told me, and I was like, okay, yeah, of course I remember that. Whichever. 14 and a half months ago is when they showed up. But because they were in my pipeline, wink, wink, we talked about pipelines and sales funnels here in the lab, right? So because they were in my pipeline, I consistently educated them through my pipeline. When they were ready, I appeared, right? It's when the customer is ready, you're going to appear, right? And so I kept educating them. I stayed present. I was top of mind for them. And when they were ready, 14 and a half months later, they came. They was like, "Chief, you got it. You're it." So consistent market education from pre-launch all the way through post-launch, not only at launch, right? You have to have a coming soon. It's okay to incorporate your audience in the journey. It's okay to let people know where you are. If you are writing a book, it's okay to encourage your audience to say, "Hey, guess what, guys? I am in the middle of my writing. I got chapter 4 done. I feel like, oh my God, I got writer's block. I got this, I got that. Hey guys, what do you think about this cover? Let's vote on the cover for the book." Get your people engaged, right? They want to be a part of it. If you're planning an event, it's okay to bring your audience with you on the journey. Bring them with you to go look at the event, to select the event, to sign the event agreement. Bring them with you on the stress levels, like, oh my God, I've been trying to book a caterer, or I've been trying to book a this. Bring them with you. Bring them with you. Consistent marketing, the coming soon experience. Have a landing page, have something. I want you to get in touch with your early adopters, because let me tell you what, the money resides with early adopters. It doesn't reside with your late adopters. Your late adopters come late. They are the skeptics. They come at the end when everybody else has come through it. Everybody else has been experienced whatever. Then you got testimonials. Then your late adopters will show up. Your late adopters is not where the money resides. Okay. The money resides with your early adopters. That's how you take off. That's how you start to get the wheels off the tarmac. Yes. So you want to make sure that you have coming soon conversation, coming soon education, and things of that nature. Also, I want you to pay attention to your launch schedule. Your launch schedule is from the point of I'm going to make this happen all the way through post-launch. Have specific dates when you're going to physically launch. Have a timeline for the pre-launch. Have a timeline for the launch. Have a timeline for the post-launch. Be specific. Don't just say, "Hey, this is happening." No, don't just do that. Be specific about what you're doing. Let me share with you. A launch is a grand opening. Respect the process. A launch of a product, a launch of a service, a launch of an event, a launch of a business, these are all grand openings. A grand opening doesn't happen, "Oh, I think I'm going to open a store." You want to open a store? Yeah, let's open a bakery. Let's open a store. Let's open a business. And then tomorrow you're open and you expect everybody to come running. It takes a plan. It takes a process. You got to go from point A to point B. So I want you to respect the launch. A launch is a grand opening. Do not just go from "I like it" to "I'm open" and you're expecting everyone to come in. So remember what I talked about, the little story that I told in the beginning of time. What did I tell you? The person shows up, premium pastries, right? Gourmet pastries. They show up. They didn't tell anybody they were coming. And when they show up, paid all this money to bring this stuff, and they're excited. They want to share. They're excited. Nobody's there. Why? I didn't know you were coming. I didn't know you were coming. I had no reason to expect you to be here. I had no reason to be here waiting for you. Okay. When I told you what I did with my book, I focused on tactics. I didn't focus on strategy. When I launched my second book, Be Unleashed, I was like, boom, strategy, tactics. Let's go. I had my buckets, boy. I had my 2 buckets and they was ready. I had the team like, let's go. Let's go. Who's on first? Who's on second? What bucket you in? What bucket you in? We were going. And I remember when I launched my second book, we started from pre-launch. We had all the activities in pre-launch, and then we had the launch phase, and then we had post-launch. And my second book did well. It did really well. Entered into 4 countries at the point of launch. 4 countries. It was so gratifying. So when I tell you that a pre-launch, the launch phase, the post-launch, it's a process. Respect the process and think of your product, service, event, business launch, any launch you have. It is a grand opening. It's an event. It's an experience. Do not just sit there and say, I like it, and then I'm going to run with it. Yes? All right, guys, listen. Was this good or was this good? Was this good or was this good? I am really excited. Thank you for hanging out with me. There you have it. The critical factors to develop a strategic product or service launch plan. Remember, it's a grand opening. Respect the process. Learn from every launch. Don't be afraid to go back in the ring. Go and make it happen. And every launch, you're going to get better and better with each and every single launch. Yes. All right, guys, it's your Chief Visionary. And I am very excited to serve you on Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you need your Chief Visionary for strategy, for training, as a speaker at your event, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can schedule a power chat at impactbrandingconsulting.org. If you need support in your business for strategy and getting things together because you need to stabilize and scale your company, go ahead and schedule your power chat at impactbrandingconsulting.org. It's right there on the screen. Also, if you did not like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, please, I'm begging you, go on and subscribe. All right. YouTube loves it when you like and subscribe. So please subscribe. Show me some love on our YouTube channel, Impact Branding Videos. Our YouTube channel is Impact Branding Videos. And don't forget, if you are catching this on the replay, drop that hashtag replay team in the chat and I will show you some love. Hashtag replay team in the chat and I'll show you some love from there. All right. So next week we'll be here, same time, same place. Bring a friend with you so that we can go ahead and dissect the good, the bad, and the strategy around business. All right. One love, one heart. Blessings upon blessings. Have a phenomenal week and weekend, and I'll see you next week, Thursday.